Hi, I'm Michael Lauren Prue, and welcome to this year in review edition of Airwaves. We begin with the completion of a first-of-its-kind takeoff and recovery of an F-A-18E Super Hornet. Crews used the Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System, otherwise known as EMALS, at Lakehurst, New Jersey, and on the newly commissioned USS Gerald R. Ford. They also put the Advanced Arresting Gear, the AAG, to the test. The introduction of the systems marks two milestones for the fleet. First, they were the ship's first at-sea fixed-wing flight operations. This was also the first-ever flight deck catapult launch and arrested landings. Test pilots landed on board the Ford with the help of Magic Carpet, a system that helps automate the F-18's landing process on carriers. The system increases accuracy, and pilots only have to make small adjustments on the approach while landing. Responding to fleet demand, the NOC-AD Magic Carpet team delivered this critical capability 3 years early. Pilots are now using the system aboard the carriers in deployment settings during combat operations.
The feedback we've gotten is overwhelmingly positive at this point, so some very challenging conditions on both the Atlantic and Pacific, where they've had the opportunity to use Magic Carpet, and it has increased performance and boarding rate and all that stuff. We're tracking those numbers, and it is startling how much better it is.
2017 also saw renewed efforts to resolve what's being called a major challenge to readiness. We're talking about physiological episodes aboard Navy aircraft. During a physiological episode, a pilot may experience confusion, dizziness, or even loss of consciousness due to hypoxia or the lack of an adequate supply of oxygen. While the exact cause remains unclear, one of the mitigation strategies for the T-45 aircraft was to upgrade the OBOGs, onboard oxygen generating systems, to counter the problem. They've installed the systems on board several planes, and they're showing promise. The Navy stood up a physiological event rapid response team, which includes NAVAIR personnel, to react quickly to an episode if and when it occurs. We also saw several milestones for the F-35 program this year. The Fleet Readiness Center East received its first F-35A Lightning II for maintenance in August. The aircraft is one of the ones needed to achieve initial operational capability, which will happen once the branch is equipped and trained to fly 10 of the aircraft. Meanwhile, F-35B Lightning crews showed off with a series of launches from a ski jump ramp at Pax River. The demonstration was part of Phase 2 testing with a heavy external weapons load in August. The crews with the Strike Fighter Squadron 101 started carrier quals with the F-35C aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln in September. It's one of the first ships to accommodate traps and launches of the aircraft.